You call your gas company from another location.
Learn more natural gas safety tips at mosafegas.com.
At KSMO Radio, time for more FFA interviews with our host, Mr. Bob Parsons. Bob?
I think that was my cue, so here we go. Thank you, Stan. I am here for FFA Day on KSMO with another select group of ag education students and FFA members right here for FFA Day. I'm going to ask each of these students to introduce themselves first, tell a little bit about themselves, family background, grade in school, that kind of information, and from that point then we'll start in with some questions and just see what they know about and what their experiences have been in ag education and FFA. So who wants to start off with the introductions? Go, Justin.
Sure. I'm Justin Arthur.
We won't have to worry about that till quite a bit later. Okay, go ahead.
Justin Arthur, 9th grade. My parents are Dwayne and Angela Arthur. I went into ag to try something new, and I went into FFA because I figured it would be a good career development path.
Okay, very good. Let's pass it on along there. Either we can jump back and forth from side to side. You're not that nervous. This is not going to bite. You're just going to tell information that you know. This is the most nervous group I've had all day. Now, guys, come on. Swallow hard. Just relax. Come on. It's going to be all right. Just to say to myself, you know, I can do this. All those other folks have done it. I'm not the first-year student to do this. Okay? Little pep talk here. All right, we ready? Rah, rah, rah. All right. Go on, Isaac.
Okay. I'm Isaac Westerman, and I'm a 9th grader. My parents are Josh and Tina Westerman, and I went into ag because it's kind of like my family's legacy. We've always been into ag, and we've all loved it, and we're going to keep on going with that legacy.
Okay. I hope it continues to prove to be worthwhile for you, Isaac, and live up to that reputation that your family's painted it in. All right, next.
All right, I'm Sierra Resco. My parents are Ray and Tracy Mowry. I'm in 9th grade, and I went into ag because I thought I would wanted to learn more about agriculture, and we live in a pretty rural area, so it's kind of, I'm pretty involved in it, like in life already. So.
Okay, very good.
I'm Aubrey Hinderleiter. I'm in 9th grade. My parents are Krista and David Hinderleiter. I went into ag because I love animals and I wanted to learn more about them.
Okay, very good. Kind of slide that on over if you would. All right.
I am Caitlin Steffen. I'm the daughter of Ronald and Marley Steffen, Allison and Berkey Carroll. I went into agriculture to learn about the earth and the grounds and the animals to help bring that into our house.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Trinity Gorman. My parents are Dana and Tracy Gorman. I'm in 9th grade. The reason I went into ag is because I want to get more involved with the community and open up to like being a leadership because I want to become a nurse practitioner.
Very good. You'll need all those leadership skills you can acquire, won't you? All right.
My name is Angel McElfresh. I'm in 9th grade. My parents are Christy and Justin Brown, and I just came into ag just to learn new things and get to know about more people.
Okay, so you don't get concerned about your answers. Somebody last hour was real honest and said the only reason they came into the ag program was they needed a practical art credit. But then they stayed for 2 more years, I guess. So, you know, you figure it can be any reason that you've got, all the way from family background to just wanting to learn something more. To have another fairly easy question, and this is one of the questions that it always turns out that actually if you answer this one, if you're the first one to answer it, you'll make sure and get your favorite activity rather than somebody else grabbing it first. What's been your favorite activity in FFA? And tell a little bit about why it was your favorite. Who would like to go first to answer that question?
I'll go first.
Justin's going to hit that one first. Okay, go.
My favorite activity was definitely beef days because I got to lead kids around and show them a bunch about FFA and ag-related careers. We taught them a little bit about ATV, UTV, safety, and just that was
It's
really
a
fun.
really important and interesting activity. Good. All right, who's next?
One of my favorite activities was we went to Wardak Farms one day as a it was kind of freshmen and seniors, but we went, and I got to stick my hand in the cow's stomach, and that was just a really cool experience for me. I thought it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing that I got to do. So.
Not everybody gets
Yeah,
to do that
it
every
was
day
pretty fun.
at school.
Yeah.
It's kind of real interesting and something different. And, you know, they've been doing that for the Word Act Field Day for I can't tell you how many years, probably back, well, maybe before some of you all were even born. But anyway, it's always been one of the favorites that kids, it really lasts in their memory. I need to shut up and let you all talk. Go ahead. Somebody else with a favorite activity and why? Isaac.
One of my favorite activities was on the Green Hand Degree ceremony, but I had to get to speak the FFA Creed, and that was a big responsibility, and it took leadership to do that.
It did, and you did a fine job of it. I was sitting there listening
Thank
to
you,
you.
Mr.
So,
Parsons.
excellent. I don't know why there wasn't a bunch of you to compete for it, right? Because, I mean, doing the creed is easy, right?
He's the one who
Isaac's
did
kind
it
of
best.
pro.
He's the one that did it
I
best.
think it was
I know.
between him and Irvin Johnson.
I'm sure they both had been practicing for a while. You just don't get that to that point overnight, do you? All right, somebody else, a favorite activity. Go ahead, Trinity.
My favorite activity was like coming together and doing the mixed fruit boxes together because we grew closer together as friends and as a community and growing to see new chances.
Okay, very good. And I appreciate the fact that you talked about a little bit about growing closer together because almost every group today, we've talked a little bit about how you're coming from 5 different schools and you come into a classroom and our heads are going like this. Yeah, we come in and we didn't really know anything about one another and we get thrown in the same classroom and over time then we develop new friendships and several heads are going, yeah. Sierra's head in particular, she really agrees with that. Okay. You've made lots of new friends, huh?
Yeah.
All right. That's good. All right. Somebody else, their favorite activity. Go ahead.
My favorite was also the Ward Act Field Arts. We got to stick our hand in the cow, and then they taught us, and we learned about all different things about electricity and other animals and stuff. Even though it was raining, everyone still had fun.
Okay. Caitlin, thank you very much because there are lots of other things going on besides just what they call the fistulated cow. And what that is, folks, actually for research, they've put what's called a cannula in the side of the cow. It causes no damage at all. The cow doesn't know it's there. And they have a plug that's in that most of the time, but they can sample rumen contents for doing research. And so that's good gosh, long time they've been doing that. All right. Another one. Go ahead.
My favorite was actually the FFA auction last night. I was there, and it was fun just watching everyone bid against each other, and it was great fun.
I appreciate you brought that up, Angel, because I do like to make sure as part of the program in each segment that we talk about the support, the community support for ag education FFA. And what Angel was referring to, if you didn't catch a program earlier today, is last night was the FFA Alumni Scholarship Auction, labor auction, and dessert auction. And I don't, you may have heard, you may not have heard at this point, but the proceeds were over $6,400 from last night. And several of them are going, ooh, wow. That is great. It was, if I remember, a comment Ms. Johnson said this morning, I believe it exceeded last year by nearly $2,000 or maybe a little over. So it was a great night. And I appreciate that you mentioned that because folks that missed out on it, it is fun just to watch the bidding and excitement and, you know, one student's labor's auctioned off for $100 and the next one's $400. Well, there wasn't very many. $400 was just one. But anyway, it's exciting. It's fun. All right, another activity. Go ahead.
My favorite was the ice cream social. We got to meet a lot of the people that we'd be in FFA with, and it was just a lot of fun.
And you got introduced to your officers.
Yes.
They get up and talk, and so, and several of the groups have mentioned ice cream social as a great mixer, chance to get together, and then if you're like me and like ice cream, yeah, that's a good way to end it. Would you believe years ago, decades ago, in fact, it was a watermelon feast right at the very beginning of school. But then it got to where we had difficulties getting the whole watermelon. We found out, you know what? There's a lot more people that like ice cream than like watermelon. So that's why it got changed. Just a little bit of history for you in case anybody ever cares. All right. I think everybody had the opportunity to respond on that. Good. I don't want to leave anybody out, that's for sure. What have you found to be the most difficult aspect of ag education and FFA? What? Oh, Caitlin's got a big smile on her face, and she actually wants to go first. And for a girl that didn't want to come over here at all, I think she almost balked and told Mr. Howard, "No, I ain't going to go." But she didn't, and I appreciate it. What's
The hardest thing for me is public speaking. I get really nervous and scared about it.
okay? Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I started teaching 41 times. 41 times first day of school. And there was never a first day of school I wasn't nervous about it. From the 1st to the 41st. It's there. And actually what you wind up doing is you utilize those nerves as some motivation and put some excitement in what you're doing. That way being excited isn't an act, it's legitimate. So I appreciate that. All right, somebody else, what you found difficult? Trinity.
One I found difficult was like the first week or two of school, opening up to your teachers and getting involved in the classwork, because a lot of kids don't volunteer on the first week because they're nervous because they don't really know anybody in your classes unless you went to school with them last year.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? Okay, Sierra is going to tell us.
I think that the most difficult part was probably deciding which contest teams we were going to be a part of, because there's a lot of choices, but trying to open up yourself to new experiences and pushing yourself to do something even if you might not want to do it, it's kind of hard to do sometimes.
And once we finish dealing with this subject, I want to go to the career development events, talk about the contest teams. Anybody else, something you'd like to share that you found difficult? As I understand it, you really haven't gotten too far into your record keeping yet, so that's one reason. The other groups, almost every group, somebody's come up with record keeping is the most difficult. Record keeping is the most difficult, but these guys have just scratching the surface there, so that's not come up as one of their topics. Okay, anybody else? Something that you found difficult? All right, let's just move then, transition right to those talking about the contest teams, the career development events, which can be definitely lead students into a career. I had a student many years ago, that was on the poultry team. And years later, guess what he majored in college? Poultry production. And his degree wound up being in poultry production. There we go. So the contest team can absolutely lead you into a contest area. Who's working on a contest team? Okay, the majority of this group. All right, somebody tell me about the contest team that you're working on. Sarah, you kind of brought it up, so I'm going to ask you to go first, and then Justin will come over and let you talk about it.
So my contest team is FFA Knowledge, which it's about 6-ish people on the team right now, I think, and then we go to one of the events and take a test about our FFA knowledge.
Okay. Anyone else here on that team? All right. Isaac and Justin both indicate that they're also part of the knowledge team. What have you done so far, Isaac, to start preparing for the knowledge team?
Some of the kids, we got some packets and we kind of studied a little bit. That's basically it, though. We haven't really done anything as a team yet to study.
Well, when you do, basically on that one, it'll come down to taking lots of tests. All right, that's 3 of them on the FFA knowledge. Some of the rest of you on another. Trinity?
I'm on the poultry one. We identify different cuts of meat of the chicken and identify different parts of the chicken and see if we know which one's which. Mm-hmm.
You have to grade them. You learn how to candle eggs and all kinds of different skills that you may think that, well, it's just something different. But it is something different, and you'll do well at it. It's a fun team. A lot of variety to it. Just a lot of variety. And the thing I really always liked about it's more specific in what the standards are. Is anybody going out for livestock? No? Well, then I'll talk about kind of in the negative side about livestock team. it's a great team, it's great training, but you're always comparing your view to another person's view. And we don't all see things exactly the same. But when it comes to actually grading an egg or a piece of chicken, poultry, it's pretty cut and dried. It's pretty specific. All right, so anybody else, a different team? All right, go ahead. Same team. All right, also poultry. Good. You guys are going for 2, huh? All right, who's first?
You can go.
Go ahead, yeah.
The mic's in front of you.
They're arguing over. That's the first time I've had today. First time anybody arguing over who's going to go first, and that's neat. Go ahead, Icy.
Okay, well, I'm on the FFA Creed speaking team. Like, all the people in my class were pushing me to do it, so I decided to do it, which I'm excited about it. Howard's supposed to teach me to do some techniques and how to do better at it, and it's going to be fun.
Probably one of the toughest contests.
Yeah.
It really is. I had a few state competing creed speakers. I always thought they were the best, but they didn't wind up in first place. So that was a little disappointing. All right, Justin.
My event or CDE is ag sales. You're either given a product, or you choose a product, and you try to present that to a panel of judges to see if they would buy your product or not.
Okay, very good. All right, anybody else? Okay.
I'm also
Sierra.
on the prepared public speaking team thing. It's not really a team, but so we write a speech and then give it to some judges, and then they have about 4 minutes afterwards to ask us questions about it. So.
And I find it interesting that the students have mentioned a number of teams. In fact, all the teams you've mentioned have some oral presentations as part of it, from specific class reasons in poultry to the speech, the creed, the sales pitch that you're presenting. And that's so important. I know Caitlin, I believe, said earlier that, boy, speaking just, it scares me. It does. But to work past that to the point where you start to use that those nerves as part of your tools, put those in your toolbox and keep them there, and just work to develop those skills and abilities to prepare those speeches, to present those presentations. Because let's face it, you're always going to have to communicate. Wanting to be a nurse, man, communication, along with the other thing, record keeping, it's there. You got to be there and got to develop those skills. All right, anything else on contest teams? Y'all, I'm pleased to find out that y'all have that much interest and involvement in the contest teams at this point. You guys are, as we've already said, first-year students, but you've already got your supervised agriculture experience plans. And some of them are actually in motion, I'm sure. Would you share with our listeners what your SAEs are at this point, and what maybe some of your plans for the future for your SAE? Who'd like to go first on that? They're kind of looking at one another's. Justin, okay.
My SAE currently is mowing a lawn right now, but whenever I turn 16, so this year, and next year in the summer, I'm planning on working at my dad's shop, doing anything he needs around there.
Okay. I'm having to look at some of my notes, so I am paying attention to what you're saying, guys, so don't get sidetracked there. Okay, Isaac?
Okay, my SAE is market swine production and bottle calf. I don't know what kind of SAE that is, but in the future we're looking forward to goats.
See? Okay. Very good. Sierra?
My SAE is cattle production, so I'm raising and selling cattle, and then probably in the future I might show some steers.
Okay. What's going on now? What's your plans? Aubrey?
My SAE is childcare. I just babysit.
Okay. Very good. Caitlin, your turn.
My SAE right now is I babysit my little siblings.
Okay. It's something to do.
SAE
Trinity.
is working on a relatives of mine's farms, like working with horses, cattle, doing rodeos for them, and hauling wood and stuff for them, just working with them.
Okay, good. And Angel?
I do a couple. I do our chickens, and I babysit, and I also go clean other people's houses.
Okay. You work?
Yeah.
You work. Okay, very good. Let's see where I want to turn now. That's the SAEs. We've talked about those. See, when I do this so many times, and I don't really kind of sound like I'm making excuses for myself, but that's all right. Did we already talk about why you enrolled in ag education? Yes, we did. This group we did. All right. Forgive me. I know I've skipped something here in my... Okay, what's your future plans? What do you plan? You've set some goals, I'm sure, for yourself yet in ag education and FFA. And even after high school, what are your plans for your future? Whoever would like to start there. Some of you, I'm sure, have very definite plans. Others might have pretty iffy plans at this point. So we'll just go from there. Justin, go ahead.
My goal for FFA while I'm in high school is to try and strive for the national degree. And whenever I get out of high school, I'm planning on trying to go into college for a major in mechanical and a minor in electrical engineering, so I can either mess around with robots or help precision farming.
Which is kind of amazing to me that you say that in some respects, but both those things, the use of robots in agriculture and precision farming, big hot topics now. And just surfaced them within the last 3 or 4 years as hot topics. Okay, Isaac.
In the future, I would like to go to college for sports medicine, and be a sports therapist. That's what I would like to do.
Pretty competitive field, but I'm sure you can handle the competition. Sierra.
So right now, my main FFA goal is probably the American FFA degree, and then after that, I want to go to college for agriculture business, so I can be involved in that.
Very good. All right, Angel.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I skipped. That's fine.
Okay.
It'll work. Angel, go ahead. My
Actually,
bad.
I was thinking of being. I haven't decided. I want to become some sort of surgeon, but I haven't decided which yet. But I'm looking.
Okay. Well, one thing about it, we got some time, but it's going to be amazing how fast that time disappears. Trinity?
My future goal is to be a nurse practitioner for either Salem or Rolla. Just stay around here.
Okay.
And, grow deeper into child development, because I want to be, a nurse practitioner towards little kids. You don't see that a lot around here.
Specialize in pediatrics.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. Aubrey, I said Angel a while ago by mistake, but that's all right. It all worked out fine. So we'll go to Aubrey, and then we'll finish up with Caitlin.
After high school, I'd like to go to college to become a veterinarian. I love working with animals. I'd like to work with larger animals, such as horses and cows.
Study. It's tough field. It's hard work once you get in, and it's hard. The hardest work is getting in and paying the bills. Okay, Caitlin.
I'm not for sure what I want to do. I either want to go into the Air Force and help there, or go into the conservation where I don't have to deal with as many people. But I'm not for sure which one.
And you watch. You'll wind up in a very people occupation. Just who knows at this point. You are just starting out, so but just make sure you set. I know you've had this drilled into you because it's part of what we do in ag education FFA. Goals. You got to set those goals. You got to work towards them. You got to set them, work towards them. Okay. If and some of the groups I've posed this to, and probably this is the best group to present this thought and have you respond. Let's just say that you have the opportunity to visit with a group of 7th or 8th graders, whether you came from one of the R schools or it's R-80. You have a chance to visit with them about their scheduling for their 9th grade year. What would you tell them about ag education and FFA? And I don't care who's first. Justin, go ahead.
I would definitely tell them that ag and FFA is really important for future career development. It helps put you out there. Like right now we're getting ready to start welding, and that's a skill that not everyone knows, but is really important for a lot of jobs or just people who like to work with their hands. And FFA, we went to a leadership conference, I think is what it was called, and we met a whole lot of different people from our district, but not our school district, but our FFA district, and we met a lot of people, had some fun, played a couple games, just talked to different people that we never would have.
Outside of your comfort zone a bit. Expand your circle of friends and acquaintances. All right, next. Isaac?
I would tell the 7th and 8th graders to put ag on their ag and FFA on their schedules because it teaches you leadership and responsibility, and that's great for what you need. And with what Justin said, yeah, it teaches you how to do other things and work with your hands and stuff like that.
Okay, very good. Sierra?
Not only I think that like leadership and career exploration, but you get to build a lot of relationships and friendships with people that you meet in FFA and ag, and you get to learn a lot more about other people. Also, like they can open your eyes to new experiences and what you might want to do in your future. So.
Okay, very good. Aubrey?
I would definitely tell them to take ag. It's very educational, and you can learn a lot of new things in ag, and it's just good for learning like hands-on things such as welding. And
I wonder if there's any apprehension among us about getting to weld for the first time. No? Yes? It's a variety of responses. One that's scared to talk to people says, no problem. Caitlin said you didn't have to single me out like that, did you?
Third time.
I think when I would tell them to join FFA and ag so they can learn more, and the class is very fun and creative. Howard, he does a lot, and if you don't understand, he'll go out of his way to help you understand so you know what you need to know for the future and so you can have fun.
You identified a real important part of it because the ag teachers do make it fun to learn.
Yeah.
They do a good job of that. Trinity?
I would tell them to put ag on their resumes because ag is not just about animals. A lot of people think it is, so they don't want to get involved in ag. But it teaches you to go outgoing experiences, like getting involved in your community, opening up to people, being able to communicate with your friends and families and people you don't know.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. Angel?
I would tell them to choose ag and FFA because it teaches you different things. I don't really know how to explain it. It just...
Well, I'll help you just a little bit. Maybe it's help. There's just such a wide variety of different
people,
areas, opportunities. Trinity said opportunities, different skills levels, different areas. Again, I think we've already said it, but there's just a lot of things going to get you out of your comfort zone, and then pretty soon you'll find something. I never thought about that. Boy, that'd be cool. I think I'll pursue that a little farther. That's not a career that I've given any thought. So there's lots of positives that come about with the involvement in ag education FFA. You guys have cited a lot of the things that I think are real positive about it. Let's see what else I've got on my list. We've done a pretty good job of going through it. You guys have done. Anything else that you would share with our listeners out there that they're tuning in here, they don't know much about ag and FFA? What else would you share with them? Something we haven't dealt with, maybe you want to mention an activity that that they might find super interesting, or they need to tell their grandkids about, or whoever. Anybody? Everybody's saying my brain is pretty well cooked. They're looking at me like.
One important thing about Ag 1 is, like someone said, I forgot, don't have a very good memory, but Howard, he he really immerses everyone into it. You don't know a lot about it, he'll push you further into it. You know quite a bit about it, he'll push you even further. He definitely makes it a good, fun learning experience, and if anyone is even on the edge about going for ag, they should definitely go for ag if they're looking for a fun class.
Give it a year. If you've got an option, take it that ninth grade year. If you can get it in your schedule. I know that's not easy to do in the way scheduling is anymore, but get it in that schedule. And then if it's not your thing, you don't care for it, there's other options. There's lots of opportunities provided at Salem High School.
Even if you don't like it, it's a credit of practical arts out. So
At the very minimum, that's right.
I mean,
and even we had somebody last hour last group that's the only reason they took it their freshman year. I know I've already said that once this time, but they only took it because they were looking for that practical arts credit. I've heard students say, and then again in the last group it was said, I took it because a lot of my friends were taking it. And, hey, there's nothing wrong with that being the reason to be enrolled in ag education. And you find out as you go along, there's a lot of things that you never dreamt were there that's part of it. And their heads are going like this. They're agreeing with me. I think I don't know how in such a short time we've exhausted our list of questions, but I think I've dealt with every one of them. Favorite activities. Are you involved in any other school activities, what we might call extra activities, sports or any of that? Some of you, okay. What do you do in those areas?
Me and Katie are in archery right now, and we are just traveling to go to our archery competitions and see if it helps us grow as a team.
Okay, and that's a separate activity in Salem R-80?
Yes. Currently, one of our ag teachers is our archery coach,
okay.
Ms. Johnson.
Yeah, and you all had some kind of a donut drive just recently?
We had a donut fundraiser for Krispy Kremes.
How many boxes were sold?
I sold 24.
Lots of boxes. I know Ms. Johnson called me on the phone the day before yesterday. She was on her way back. Was it the day before yesterday? Whatever.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, she was on her way back from St. Louis with a pickup load of Krispy Kreme donuts. So, all right. Anybody else another activity or different activity? Justin.
I was in football beginning of the year, and Monday I'm going to be in track, and that's really good for team development. Just hanging out with your team, finding new friends, finding who you can work with, who you can have good teamwork with, and honestly, even though it's a downside, but you can find out who you don't work so well with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then you also will learn as you go along, particularly if you get more involved in those other activities, is you got to work at balancing those activities. And you're just getting started at that, really. I know you've been balancing some, but I know Isaac plays a lot of baseball, and you got to balance all that. So, got anything else? Isaac's got something else he wants to share.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, we had basketball. I made the 9th grade team, and it was a fun team development experience for everybody. And upcoming, there's baseball. And like he said, I'm into baseball.
Yep. Caitlin.
At the beginning of the year, there was band, so I couldn't go to a few of the FFA meetings because band got in the way. But band is another way to get to know people and learn different things in different writings, like the music notes and all that. And it's fun to go to competitions and meet new people.
It is, and you need to do as many of those things as you can, just because you're only going to go through high school once, and it's not going to last forever. You know, you're over halfway through your 9th grade year, and does it seem possible that you're over halfway through? Yeah.
No.
Just started a few days ago, right?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yep, it does. So, anyway, with that said, I think that's pretty. I appreciate this group. They've done excellent for a group of first-year students. Do want to recognize our supporters of FFA Day on KSMO. We've had over, I think Stan told me, over 60 advertisers that have made this day possible right here on KSMO. And Justin's going to share just a portion of our advertisers for FFA Day on KSMO.
We have Century 21 South Central Realty. We have 72 Farm Center, Duncan Family Chiropractic, Robert and Judson's Lumber Company, Wofford Bros Plumbing, D&D Supplies LLC, Godey Excavating LLC, Riri Chiropractic and Shelby Garrett LMT, Pratt, Michael and Company PC.
I believe it's Mitchell, but that's
Mitchell, okay.
Pratt Mitchell. That's fine. Good job.
My brother's middle name spelled that way. So.
Okay, I got you. You have a legitimate excuse then. All right, to this fine group of first-year ag students, I thank them for a good job, and we'll turn it back to Stan.
Thank you, Bob. At KSMO Radio 1340, it's 18 minutes after 12 o'clock. Again, that's been hour 5 of our ag students, and we thank them for coming in. And again, we'd also thank our FFA advisors, Lane Howard and also Miss Johnson, Heather Johnson, for allowing these students to leave the class and come and be a part of our FFA Day. And it's also part of a good experience for them to actually be interviewed and answer questions on the radio. So it's good stuff. It's good educational, too, all the way around. We still have a couple of more classes to go. They'll probably be, again, 6th and 7th hours. They'll be coming in right around the 1 o'clock hour here at KSMO Radio, so we'll have a little time. We'll get some local news in and a little bit more activity for you here as well. Right here at KSMO Radio, 1340 AM. Thanks for being along, and we'll have a little bit of activities here to get us up to our Brownfield opening lives. I should say our Brownfield livestock and our commentary all coming your way very shortly. All right here at KSMO Radio, your hometown radio station. We'll get to that in just a moment right here on KSMO Salem 1340 AM.
Hi, this is Bob Kingsley, and last weekend on CT40, it was the romantic engagement song, This Is It, from Scotty McCreery that held our top position. Will This Is It be it again? Join me this weekend and find out the rankings of all your favorites from 40 to number 1 right here on the Country Top 40.
The station with the better mix. KSMO Salem.
AP Radio News. I'm Ed Donahue. Less than a month ago, his team won their 6th Super Bowl. Today, his name is being mentioned by police in Jupiter, Florida.
That would be Mr. Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots?
Yes, sir.
Police Detective Andrew Sharp says Robert Kraft is facing a misdemeanor charge.
He's being charged with the same offenses as the others, and that is soliciting another to commit prostitution.
About 200 arrest warrants have been issued in recent days, and more are expected in Florida. Robert Kraft has not been arrested. In Riverside, California, David and Louise Turpin pleaded guilty today to torture and other charges. They're accused of shackling some of their 13 children to beds and starving them.